I stand corrected. But yeah, should be a good one. MiketheViewer is, one of the top tier sub 130 runners with 125. We're going to see a lot of good stuff from him, as well as Chroya, who's been grinding this game for quite some time, for as long as I have been running as well. Mike also runs a couple other NES games. The Lost Vikings, another SNES classic. Well, Chroya is known in the blind speedrunning tournaments, the Cusa Grande, the Mystery Tournament. So we have Link coming down. He's going to say hi to Uncle. Hi, Uncle. Both runners go through the escape section here. Not too much to worry about. Just have to dodge maybe a couple soldiers here and there. A little bit of RNG to work with. We'll get into that later. Most important is just avoid getting hit. You want to, not die and escape. Huge time loss. So coming up in the first room here, they're going to have to take out this soldier. There's a little bit of a setup for this room. The second that you walk in and exit those stairs, there's a little bit of input lag the second you exit those stairs. So you kind of have to move left or right to kill that soldier. And then there's a strat there that we saw both use the charge slash method. Quickest way to get that key off of them and continue on your way. Alright, so Mike using the poke and spin method, Chroya using the double tap on the door method. Both are really good, consistent ways of clearing that room out. And both pick up the first item was the Bloomerang, one of the cool, nifty little items you can use early on and then throughout random parts in the game to speed up some areas. Bloomerang's really fun to use. Both went for the 8-slash method on that chainball dude. You can either walk up towards those pots, throw 2 at him and kill him, or you can pin him against the wall there and do 8 fighter sword slashes. So I'm going to take Zelda, come back through the way they came in, head through the sewers, and get out of here. Both on a really good escape pace here. Once you get down to a really low, consistent time, say like the 135 and below, you start aiming, try to get that sub 6 escape. It does come with really optimizing your movement. A little help from RNG from the soldiers and the key rat coming up here. So here we have the snake room. This room can be always a pain because the snakes can pretty much line up in any way and form in that room. The best way to do is just, yeah, make your way through it without trying to get hit. Chroya was able to actually dodge the first set there, and Mike just deboosted straight through it. It's a little bit of RNG that you just have to deal with on your way through Escape. And then they're also going to have to deal with this key rat coming up here. There's one rat that has the key. It's going to be on the left-hand side here. Mike had a really good pattern there. Was able to use the boomerang to kind of kill the rat and then move on its way to the right. And Chroya was trying to do the same there, but he actually picked up the rupees instead as he killed 2 rats. But they actually got really good pattern from the rat. He didn't go up into that top left corner where you can kind of be a bugger. Mike got that first text dialogue skip. If you hold right entering that door with the switch room, you can skip the first dialogue box that Zelda will speak on you. And yep, Chroya got the same thing. Very nice. So as you can see, just through the dialog boxes, you can see on the inputs for Chroya's screen, just mash your way through until you get to the end there. A lot of people like to just mash on one or just mash them all together. Pretty good. Both picking up their respective synced hearts. Don't have to pick up that heart. It saves a couple seconds, but it's usually pretty good to get. These Octo Rocks on your way down to Eastern can be a pain. As you can see, they get in the way of Mike's way. And then sometimes, like on Chroya's screen, they're not a pain. So, as we can see, as they're making their way up through the stairs, Mike's doing really good pumping through up the stair pumps. Basically, it's as you're walking up these stairs, if you mash left and right at the same time as holding up, you can save a couple frames walking up those stairs. And in that instance, right before you enter Eastern, you can skip having that guard come down and either attack you, or you'll have to stun it or attack it as well. You can walk right by it if you pump well through those stairs. So coming up in Eastern, Mike's heading up into the Stalfos room. In this room, if you walk a certain path and throw those pots before the Stalfos spawn, you can actually skip the bottom 2 Stalfos from spawning, and saves a good amount of time. I like to call it like the first strat that you kind of learn in this game, as far as like a technical point to it. You're coming into the first dungeon, you're like, oh, we could actually skip half this room by just throwing pots at imaginary things. Both also picking up that 5 arrow pot there. They're going to want to grab a specific amount of arrows just to get set up for the Armos fight coming up in this dungeon. It'll also actually help for the portion of the rest of the run. Arrow count is very important in No Major Glitches. All right, Mike getting a really good anti-fairy skip there. Basically just deboost into those anti-fairies and kind of just mash A to pick up that pot and hit that switch, so it'll spawn the chest. And Chroya getting a really good one as well. The intended way is you have to kill every moving enemy before the anti-fairies will just kind of spawn out. Mike getting those specific arrows there. If you pick up the right and then the left pot in that order every time, the anti-fairy will skip right past you and you take hits. And Chroya having a little trouble with the Igor room. That room can be finicky if you don't get the kill right away. See how Mike does with the Armos fight. And looks like he's got a good setup. Very nice. So kind of the way that fight works is you stick 2 arrows and that one last remaining Armos Knight on the top right there. And you take them all out in a clockwise order. That way, when that final Armos Knight comes to you, he has 1 arrow left, and you can kind of kill him before he goes red and resets his health back to 3 hits again. Looks like Chroya is going to get a good one here as well. Very nice. Mike getting that really spacious conversation with Sahasrara there. You can kind of like mash A as your way up to him, and you can start that dialogue box a lot sooner than it seems. And looks like he's going to go ahead and take the rupees behind Sahasrara. Not going to do the rupee route, which I'll explain later. See if Chroya does that as well. But it's an easy hundo right behind Sahasrara. We're going to need those for some purchases. And executes his first spin speed very well. Spin speed, once you get the boots, basically you walk up some stairs. At any point you're on stairs, you charge your sword, and then release, and then tap A, dash button, 1 frame after, and it'll put you in a dash state while you're walking. It's really cool. Japanese 1.0 glitch. But Chroya did not get the 100 rupees behind Sahasrara, so it looks like he's going to be going the rupee route. We'll get to that later, right after around Tower of Hera, when he's going to start pulling some trees for rupees. And Chroya using spin speed here to dash up to get his book. You don't have to actually be on the stairs to do the spin speed. You can set it up anywhere. You just have to hold out your sword, charge it, and then tap that A button 1 frame after releasing it. And then the second that you walk on stairs and exit them, you are in spin speed's movement, pretty much. So at this point in the run, you've just gotten the boots. Movement is completely key in being optimal, saving time and just traveling from dungeon to dungeon, where to dash, where not to dash, when to walk. It's very precise movement in Link to the Past. So in Desert Palace, you're also going to be seeing the runners both pick up specific pots that have arrows in them. Guaranteed arrows under these pots. They're going to be needing that for the Lamulus fight. More importantly, at this point in the run, they're going to need it now. And then if they're lucky, they'll have a few extra arrows left over that'll help them out later on. Love using that little spin strat there on the little sandworm dude. There's different ways you can actually bonk into that lamp to get that small key. You can bonk it head on, or you can dash the wall to the left of it, if you kind of rub up against it as you dash towards it, the game will kind of just seem like you bonked into it anyways, and it'll bonk off the lamp. So Mike's looking really good on his arrow count. 28 arrows, about to head into the Lammeless fight. That's a really good arrow count. In case he misses a few, which is very easy to do. The RNG and movement of the Lammeless is very random. And Chroya's going to be at 25 as well, so they're both looking good on their arrow count. And on Mike's side, we saw our first example of key dashing. If you line yourself up correctly within a specific distance to a locked door with key in hand, you can actually dash right through it. It's a really nifty little time saver. That's key dash number 2 there. Very good. So as Chroya does his key dash, he is hot on Mike's tails here, heading into Lammeless fight. Each Lammo will take 4 arrows to kill, which is the optimal way to do it here. And a couple fighter sword slashes, if not. Wow, really good kill there on that first Lammo. And if I count it correctly, there's a really solid 4 cycle on Mike's side. Let's see how Chroya does. So as Mike heads out of Desert Palace on his way to Tower of Hera, Chroya finishing up Lammo. Really good fight from both of them. It's definitely one of the more frustrating, tougher fights in this category. You're pretty much at the mercy of the Lammeless, their random movement. And Mike getting off his fake flippers, first try there. As Chroya's gonna see if he heads that way as well. Basically, fake flippers is manipulate. Well, not really manipulate. You're tricking the game into thinking that you have flippers by jumping into the water and screen transitioning at the same time. So if you hit that screen transition, the second that you hop into the water there, kind of trick the game into thinking that you have flippers, and you'll be in a fake flipper status. Now, if you get hit in fake flipper status, you do kind of soft lock the game, and at that point, you don't want to push any buttons after that, because that's when the game checks to see if you have flippers. If you do, some weird stuff happens, but ideally what you want to do is save and quit from there. As far as the tournament races go, it is allowed to do that, and kind of go back from your last save and quit point. Mike getting dead rocked here on his way to turn in the old man. Everyone's favorite enemy. Chroya took a few attempts to get that fake flipper, but he did get it. Did not get hit in soft lock, which is the most important. Mike, you really utilizing that fake flippers in Death Mountain. Not only does it save time, but it allows you to bypass those boulders and dead rocks a lot more easier than just dashing through them. All right, good spin speed from Chroya as Mike enters Tower of Hera. Nice boomerang strat there to hit the switch and dash forward. Did I say fake flippers? I'm sorry. Words are hard. So Mike's doing a little dancing here with the flying tiles. And using that boomerang to destroy that last tile before it even gets to him saves a little bit of time. That's a really nifty strat there. Another reason why I love boomerang is just the cool little things you can do with it. So Mike picking up that one bomb there in that bottom pot. Also to throw the pot at the beetle, but that bomb's going to come in handy here in a few seconds to do a bomb jump to get the Moon Pearl. Oh! So it looked like he was going for a non-dash method. So what you can do is you can lay the bomb down and then bonk against the wall there. And as the explosion's going off, when you recover from your bonk, the bomb blast will boost you over the gap. But I think he might have been trying to do a different method. There's a method you can do by holding the bomb and then throwing it at a certain moment, or you can actually just edge yourself toward the very end of that gap there, and it'll blast you over. Unfortunately, when you do fall from that gap, you do fall 2 stories down, so he's going to have a little time to recover here. Oh no! Chroya did the same thing. Oh, it's very unfortunate. And both taking the smart approach of just mirroring at that point once you fall down, because the mirror will reset all of the consumables under pots, so they'll be able to get that bomb again in this beetle room. If they did not mirror, they would not have that bomb back. But Mike has made his way to Moldorn. See how he does. Oh, really good. Really good predicting the movement there from Mike. He dashed through Moldorn at the last second to prevent him kind of like knocking him back and forth. And Chroya gets that bomb jump. Very nice. Moldorn can be very random, but you can kind of predict like his movements a little bit. And if you think he's going to push you off the edge, stay away from that center hole. But more importantly, if you hold out your sword and then like hold your directional movement against him, you'll kind of just like bounce in between him and in the edge. That was why we call him Troll Dorm. That was by far the most rudest thing I've ever seen Moldorn do. Chroya was jumping down into the arena here, and he bounced off Moldorn's head right into that first gap there. That was terrible luck. There you go. You can kind of see Chroya like bouncing between him and the edge of the platform there. Oh, all right. That was a clincher, but he got it done. There was a moment there where I thought he was going to go off again on the top, but he saved it. Good save from Chroya. Very nice. So as he finishes up Moldorn, Mike is picking up his Master Sword. So Tower of Hera, that goes to show like a lot of things can go wrong. You know, it's one of the earlier dungeons. It's very execution based, and you just gotta hope for not so much trolliness from Moldorn. And Mike is going to skip his mushrooms, so we're not going to see any powder pickup from Mike. And as we see here, Chroya is going to be picking up some rupees by pulling some specific trees. He's going to be doing the rupee route, as opposed to when Mike picked up that hundo behind Salasrala. So basically, there's a prize pack that Chroya is going to be aiming for here by killing a certain amount of enemies in the forest, so that he can pull one final tree here that'll spit out some red rupees. Now, the reason why both of these runners need these rupees is for entrance into pod. They have to pay Kiki to open up the entrance to pod. You need at least 110 rupees. Mike is going to have plenty of rupees there. He's already at 105. He'll get some more. And then we'll see Chroya pull a tree here to get a few more. So Mike, going through Aga Tower, very fun dungeon to execute properly. There's a whole bunch of different strats you can do for each and every room. It could also be very RNG heavy when it comes to some of the soldiers' movements. Of course, we have the Aga fight with blue balls, so we'll get to that. But yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff you can do here. Oh no, I think, yeah, it looks like Chroya might have gotten hit, which does reset the prize pack count when you pull that tree. He can get these rupees right before heading into pod by going into Saw Hut. You just have to mirror right on that location and grab them from there. But not a huge loss. But yeah, if you do get hit, it does reset it. So it is important to kill a certain amount of enemies and to not get hit in order to pull those red rupees from that tree in the forest. So Mike's having a really good Aga Tower here. Very well executed. And Chroya is going to be entering Aga Tower as he is heading in, or as Mike is heading into his Aga fight. Chroya using the charge spin there method. Very nice. Kind of just bait them towards you, and you can release the spin there. As long as you get them in 2 hits, you take them out really quickly. So the Aga 1 fight, the first shot is always a reflective one, no matter what. But everyone after is 50-50 chance of it being a reflective shot or a blue ball shot. It's Mike getting a little hug there from Aga. So far, he's 3 for 3. And 4 for 4. Not bad. 5 for 5. And 0 blue balls from Mike. He's got to be ecstatic on that one. It's always good to get, you know, the 0 blue balls, but if you're running against your PB and you have a 0 blue ball, it's almost a guaranteed time loss because it's very rare that you get 0 blue balls. But good RNG on Mike's side. Oh, he's trying to get, there he goes. Yeah, Chroya's trying to get that key out before the soldier was heading towards him. You can use that boomerang to just get past that room quickly. Just grab the key and go. That room is a nightmare. So Mike is sitting at 111 rupees. He is 1 rupee above where he needs to be. So he's going to be good. And then Chroya, he picked up a couple rupees. So he's going to be good for pod as well. As Mike gets the extortionist monkey here to pay him to open up pod. Let's see what kind of luck Chroya is going to get with Aga here. Let's see if he'll get the same amount of luck with Mike. See if he can get 0 blue balls. All right, it's 2 for 2 so far. And there goes 1. Oh, he's got to be a little careful here. Took a hug there from Aga. He's got to watch his health. Only 1 blue ball so far for Chroya. And there goes number 2. All right. Chroya with 2 blue balls, Mike with 0. I gotta tell you, that's really good RNG from both of them. Especially on Chroya, because if he had gotten another blue ball, it would have been another cycle of Aga going to the top there and shooting lightning down, and would have wasted a little bit more time. So it's good that he got to 2 there. Definitely saved that extra cycle of lightning attack. So all the while, Chroya's been taking down Aga. Mike has just been collecting some keys, getting his big key, mirroring back and forth. It's kind of the game with pod here. But we're going to see something really cool here. See a hammer jump, where it's basically a bomb jump to get quickly over to that big chest with a hammer in it. Basically, he's going to be lining up on specific X and Y pixels here and lining himself up to blast over. Very good. He actually got that early setup by bombing the wall first. Well, he set the bomb down and then he was able to bomb that wall so that when he makes his way over there, the wall's already ready to go. This dungeon's also really good for stocking up on bombs, which they are going to need for the rest of the run for Ice Palace, to get the Ice Rod, and Mire. So bomb count is also, along with arrow count, very important to keep track of. Nice and quick Igor room there from Mike as Chroya enters pod. So Mike's coming up on the turtle room here. Very solid. It's a lot harder than it looks, but you kind of just space yourself between the turtles. If you hammer them too close or at a really weird angle, you'll flip the turtles back over. Or it's like, not you're too close, but if you're like too far away, you can flip them over on their back to kill them, but you can flip them back over and then they just get really mad at you. So Mike taking on Helma, got the fireball blast in the first there, but he was able to get some really quick hammer hits with Helma pinning him against the wall. And nice kill from Mike. Using the hammer on the last phase there, you basically have to get like up in Helma's hitbox there a little bit to use the hammer. It's a lot faster than the Master Sword, but it's definitely a little bit more riskier. Get some Helma hugs very quickly. In that last phase, his speed goes up tremendously, and you have to be very responsive to his movement. Very nice bomb jump from Chroya. Both of them had really quick, nice bomb jumps, so it's good. All right, so as Mike finishes up Pod, Chroya is not too far behind him. He's making some good time here. And now we're going to be heading down to the Grove area to get our shovel and flute. We're also going to see a nifty little movement strat here called item dashing. We're going to see maybe on these pegs here. Very nice. Got that good movement there. Like you want to enter that screen at a specific part, so those enemies at the top don't bother you when you try to item dash down. Basically what he did there was a hammer dash. If you use the hammer and dash button, or pretty much the Y item, whatever you have equipped, and the dash button at the same time, it'll essentially use it while you're dashing. See how Chroya's turtle room goes here. And both had a really good turtle room. Very nice. Mike using a really nice spin speed there to make his way through that area, avoiding all the guards. Chroya's got to be a little careful here, and good fight. He got that one hammer hit on him, and a spin speed, or sorry, a spin slash from him. Really good fight from Chroya. You definitely want to, like, if you can, if you like being that risky, go for those hammer hits on them. But again, you just got to be very careful that you don't get any Helma hugs. So Mike's going to be heading straight into Thieves after he just picked up his flute and activated the bird. Now, I did not see if Chroya picked up his mushroom and the force, but if he did, usually this is about the point in the time in the run where runners will go turn in that mushroom to the witch and get the powder before heading into Thieves. In Thieves, the difficulty definitely ramps up here. It's intended to be the 4th dungeon in the game, So the enemies deal a lot more damage than definitely in pod and anything that the runners have faced so far. So Mike making really good navigation through the first part of Thieves here, as Chroya is going to be heading down to get his shovel and flute. He hammer dashes his way down. See how Mike handles what we call the Hellway here. Oh, very nice. He wasn't able to get the straight through, but he took like and I don't know if that was intended or not, but he took an interesting deboost there off that spike. Just allowed him to hop over that cluster of enemies there in the middle of the Hellway. So Chroya utilizing that spin speed through there as well. That's always like one of the most fun areas to do spin speed. Skip through all those soldiers and head straight up into Kakariko. Mike dashing through those gates effectively. You kind of have to stop before each of those locks. You cannot dash through them or else you'll bonk off them. So you do a dash, like stop right before the door, dash, stop right before the door. Really good movement. And Chroya did not get his mushroom, so he's also skipping powder in this run. Mike was going for that hammer dash coming out of that room there. You have to time it perfectly to get it. It's really tough to get, but if you do, it's really clean. And he's onto his blind fight, which I know we've all heard it before, is a scripted fight. The way this fight can be optimized. And solid fight from Mike. Blind, no matter what, takes 9 hits, 3 hits per phase or cycle there. No matter your weapon. It could be tempered, master sword, whatnot. But here in the NMG category, in this point of the run, it'll always be master sword. So as Chroya is making his way through Thieves, here after this dungeon is completed, we're going to see Mike head down. He's going to pick up some rupees and then get that frog for the blacksmith to get his tempered sword. It's also one of the reasons why we do this dungeon at this point in time, because it kind of sets us up to get that tempered sword nice and early. Tempered sword does a ton more damage than the master sword. Definitely makes the rest of the boss fights a lot faster and easier. Oh, Chroya almost had a nice Hellway there. Not sure if he would have got blocked by the enemies, but he almost had that pixel perfect lineup on that tile there. What's also nice about Thieves is it has a conveniently placed 2 chests of 300 rupees each, in which we're going to need at least 500 to get the flippers here soon. But yeah, I always find it to be extremely convenient to find 600 here. Very easily can get your flippers in this one area. Only 10 rupees to get a tempered sword. What a deal. And Mike getting a really good mirror placement there. Yeah, you can put that mirror like at the very like edge of the entrance into that blacksmith shop there. And you'll be in perfect spot. As soon as you walk out, boom, you're warped out. So it's really good placement there. Let's see if we'll get a fence dash from Mike. Says, nah, fence dash is overrated. So as Mike heads up into Skullwoods, let's see how Chroya handles blind here. 5 health, 5 hearts. He does have to be a little careful. And by careful, I mean if you're going to go for the scripted fight, don't swipe from the scripted fight. Again, a lot easier said than done. And good fight. Really good fight from Chroya. And Mike also, what I like to see here is using the Bloomerang to stun those Gibdos. You can get through that first room there to get the big key without even bothering with them, but it's very rare when the Gibdos do not bother you at all. Very annoying enemy. But you can use the Bloomerang to stun them a little bit. It allows you to move that statue, gives you enough time to move that statue on the switch. And that is the bomb jump that we intended to see that first time there in Hera when Mike was attempting it. Kind of just, he drops the bomb down and then he waits for the blast and then he just positions himself on the very edge of the platform and it'll blast him right over that gap. There's different ways to do that bomb jump, but that one is a little bit faster because you don't have to bonk and wait for that. Essentially, it's pretty much the same time if you look at it though. Whatever you're more comfortable with usually is good. So Chroya picking up his first 300 rupees there as Mike heads into the second part of Skullwoods to face Mothula. Wow, really quick torch room there with the Gibdos. All it is have to lift that top pot on the right-hand side, and you can barely squeeze that fire rod shot on the right, and then quickly get on the left without even having to bother with the other Gibdos. Wow. Really good Mothula fight. He got really good RNG from Moth. And he was able to get that quick dash that you saw at the start of the fight. You dash into him against that block there. And it's a nice, quick, easy first shot on him. But fantastic fight from Mike. Chroya going deep in Blacksmith's house. Perfect placement. The second you walk out, you warp right out. Very nice. Chroya also said, you know, that fence dash is so overrated. Alright, so Mike's going to go ahead and fly over to Link's house. And he is on his way to make a couple item grabs here. He's going to make a purchase from Zora to get his flippers. Chroya's going to be heading into Skullwoods. Both runners have been playing really well. Only minor hiccups in Tower of Hera, and that's about it. Both have been executing everything really well. Good movement. This is definitely a really good race. And what's crazy is they both made the exact same error in Tower of Hera, so they're pretty much identical as far as how the run's been going. So Mike picking up his Quake Medallion, which we're going to need later on for Total Rock. And there we saw Chroya use the dash method for the bomb jump. Gonna make a 500 rupee purchase of flippers here. Oh, he was going for that key dash, but sometimes that fire bar can get in your way and not allow you to get that key dash off. Yeah, he was trying to go for the the double torch hit. Wallmaster came down just as he was about to light that last torch. Even though, like, he's technically above him, the game thinks he's coming from the top of the screen, so the fire rod shot actually took out the Wallmaster instead. So now he's going to have a little bit of a more riskier fight going in with Moth with this low amount of health, and no magic either. So Mike is heading his way through Ice Palace. Oh, he just needs one more hit. Nice fight from Chroya. Good save, my man. That was definitely a risky fight there. He had to watch his health, of course, but also utilizing when to hit Mothula. If you damage Mothula, or at least try to hit him against the spikes, he will take no damage at all. So you want to be able to hit Mothula when he's either in the center of the platform there, basically anywhere but the spikes. And coming up on Mike's side, we're seeing the Ice Palace bomb jump. Using a couple pause buffers there to line himself up correctly. There he goes. And gets the hammer dash afterwards. Very nice. So that bomb jump's a little bit more lenient. You have about a 2-pixel window of lining yourself up to get that bomb jump. It saves a ton of time here in Ice Palace. Basically skipping the requirement of going to the right side at all and circling around in this dungeon. It's one of the, definitely one of the biggest skips in the game. So Chroya with that nice save on that kill of Mothi, he's going to be heading up to go get his Quake Medallion and purchase his flippers. As Mike is heading down to fight on the puffballs. You want to have full magic going into Cold Stare, because you need every bit of your magic to break his shield. Or if you have full health, you can use sword beams and alternate between that and fire rod shots. Ooh, he was going for the dash method there. They got away from him a little bit. He's going to just do clean up a little bit here. And very nice. If you die here at Cold Stare, it's a pretty bad time loss. You basically have to do the exact dungeon way all over again, because it's a straight shot to the end. But yeah, avoiding those Cold Stare hugs is key. They do a ton of damage to you. The game, you're intended to have the blue mail at this point, because you do get the blue mail in the big chest in Ice Palace, which will limit down the amount of damage that you do take. But without it, in only green mail, you do take a lot of damage from Cold Stare. Alright, so as Mike finishes up Ice Palace, Chroya is purchasing the flippers. And he's going to be heading to Swamp. Chroya kind of swimming around that whirlpool there. Kind of when you swim into that whirlpool and activate it, it's a little tricky. You do have to be like dead center of it for it to actually warp you. Oh, nice anti-fairy skip there from Mike. Very nice. When you pull that lever, you can actually charge up your dash speed the second that you let go of the lever, and you can dash down. So basically, you pull the lever, and then as you're pulling it, you're letting go, and then tapping and holding A again to charge up your speed. So as Mike heads through Swamp, Chroya is going to be hitting it down to the Stalfos room, which I wasn't able to really kind of explain when Mike was doing it, but we should have a chance to here when he gets down there. Mike going through Swamp, you know, is definitely the breather dungeon of the run. It's very straightforward. It's the second intended dungeon, so the enemies don't do too much damage. Just a little bit of RNG you have to worry about. And Chroya with a really good Stalfos skip there. He does have to go back and get bombs. He was short on those, so we can do the bomb jump here. If you can get those two Stalfos together, you can kill them in one bomb at the same time, which Chroya was able to do successfully. Just had to go back and get some bombs, though. And got it first try. Lined it up good. Very nice. But yeah, I like to use Swamp as kind of just like a moment to collect yourself. Like I was saying, it's a straightforward dungeon. You're an hour into the run. The rest of the run after this gets pretty chaotic, and you definitely want to use this time to kind of, you know, get that breather, get a drink of water, etc. So as far as the bomb counts that both runners are at, Mike is sitting at 2 bombs, which is the perfect amount of bombs that he needs for the rest of the run. One for Ice Rod Cave and one in for Mire. And Chroya is going to have an opportunity to at least pick up one more bomb. So he should be okay. As long as he remembers and does not forget come Mire. Which I've done many a times. It's very easy to forget that you need bombs for Mire, but once you get there, as long as you remember, you're good. Oh, Chroya's got to be a little careful here. He was going for that corner strat there with a dash, and they got away from him a little bit. He was able to get a couple hits on him at the start, though. Oh, and he took damage from the falling ice block. He was sitting at 2 health there, and that's just enough to kick him out. Ah, that is unfortunate. So now what Chroya has to do is he has to get just a little bit of magic here. But it looks like he might opt to go do Swamp. Let's see. Yeah. So an option that you can do if you do take that very unfortunate Cold Stare death is you can opt to go do Swamp after the death there. So to get back to Cold Stare, it's pretty much the same straight shot that you took to get there the first time. The only problem is he has no magic. So after he finishes Swamp, he'll get a magic refill, and he'll be able to go do Ice after that. But yeah, it was definitely time costly and very unfortunate there. The Cold Stare death is just, it's brutal. It's totally brutal. And he picks up his extra bombs there, so he's definitely good on bombs now for the rest of the run. That's actually a pretty good spot to get him if you look like you're low on bombs. But Mike has been making his way through Swamp very cleanly. He's going to be heading up to Argus here in just a sec. Wow, Mike getting a really fast hook. I can't even explain that fight. I'm in such an awe every time I see it. Very good Argus fight. Basically, you get Argus to pin you up against that bottom wall there, and you can spam hook shot with the temper takes 1 shot for Puffball there. And it takes some timing to get it down, but man, I love that fight. Really good fight from Mike. So Crew's gonna be heading in that same direction. We finishing up Swamp here, and then Mike's gonna go ahead and finish up his shopping. He's gonna go get his final medallion for Meyer, which is the Ether medallion, and then he's also more than likely gonna be getting his Ice Rod at the same time. Really doesn't matter when you get them. You could get them at the same time as you get, or I guess you could get them after. But yeah, you definitely need to get this before you can even access Meyer, though. Looks like he was. I thought he had that spin speed using the hook shot there. If you use the item dash, which basically, like with hook shot and boots there on the ladder, it's basically the same as spin speed, but it's much easier to execute. You just hold down the Y item with hookshot equipped and then dash on that ladder there, and you can get spin speed. Can also use it effectively to get up the ladder a lot faster as well. So Swamp is definitely giving Chroya a little bit of time to collect himself after that Cold Stare death. And when he's done here, he'll have his full magic back, so he can go back and attempt to get that dungeon completed again. But Mike is going to go ahead and pick up his Ice Rod, which he was going to need for Total Rock. And that'll be the last of the items he'll need to get outside of dungeons. So Mike's going to be opening up Mire here as Chroya's heading into the back last part of Swamp. And the bird was frozen forever. Mike with a solid Mire too. The idea for that room is to kill the Wizrobes as quickly as possible because they kind of spawn in and spawn out, and it takes forever for them to come back and spawn in. But if you can kill them before they spawn out, definitely save some time there, and using the Fire Rod effectively can make that room a lot easier. Also, following the tails of that fire bar, those fire bars, you actually only take damage from the front of them. So you can follow the tail end of them and be okay. Oh, now Crow's got to be a little careful here on his Argus fight. He was utilizing the distance between him and Argus really well. The less distance between you and the puffballs, the better. And good kill. Good kill, Chroya. So Mike, the way he was able to light those torches, you saw him push the blocks and then use the fire rod. And then you also saw the same thing when he went to open up Swamp. He used the mirror to make the blocks disappear. So as in this game, I don't know why, when you're pushing the blocks, you can use your Y item at the same time. If you use it with a mirror, it makes the block disappear as long as it's outside of a dungeon. And in this case, in that room, you can use the fire rod to pass through the block as you push it, making it a lot faster than pushing all three blocks to the side so you can get in there and light the torch. So Mike's going to pick up his Cane of Samaria. Chroya now has full magic and can now go finish up Ice Palace. Let's see if he does the rest of his shopping here first, or he's just going to maybe head straight to Ice Palace. Yep, he is going to go ahead and get the rest of his items, and that way he can essentially get the Ice Rod and finish up Ice Palace at the same time, because he'll be pretty much in the same area. But Mike is having a very clean and fast Mire. He's been getting all the rooms pretty optimally quick. Really good execution on his end going forward. And Chroya's been cleaning up really nice in Swamp and trying to recover from that unfortunate Cold Stare death, which is always a doozy. Nice little Samaria dash here to hit that switch. Another little item dashing strat. And using the last of his bombs to bomb open that wall there. So coming up, Mike's going to be having the Vitreous fight, which is one of the riskiest fights in the game because it does require a lot of deboosting or damage boosting, using iframes to get inside these eyeballs here. Let's see how well he executes it. And extremely solid fight from Mike. Very nice. So the way that fight works is the outer area there of the eyes, that slime there. You take minimal damage from that little slime area, and what you do is you use the iframes that you get from walking on that slime to use the spin attacks with Tempered Sword, which kills the eyeballs within I think it's like 2 spins there. You get them all grouped together and you can kill a lot of those eyes at the same time. But yeah, fantastic fight from Mike. And Chroya's going to be coming for revenge here. Picking up a full magic from the penguins there. Very nice. That room is not required at all to do anything. It has like the map or a compass. But those penguins, more often than not, drop a full magic, which he wants to be good on magic this time around. Because from here on out to the end of till it gets the cold stare, there's not going to be a lot of opportunities for magic drops, so that's like the perfect spot to get it. So he's going to have another shot at the Stalfos room here. He's going to be able to stock up on bombs here again. He is still going to need a bomb for Meyer. But he did already pick up his ice rod, so he's good there. There he goes. He was able to group them together and kill them both at the same time. Very nice. He's able to move that 1 pixel down that he needs at the last second for that bomb jump. Good bomb jump there from Chroya as Mike's heading into Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock being the last of the crystal dungeons. Everything here does a ton of damage. Most notably the Pokies and the Chomps. We're going to see those coming up, but they can deal a ton of damage to you. And it's important to be careful because a death here could send you all the way back at the beginning, in which very easy to take a death, even from the last second. As Mike goes through the torch room here, it's root on Chroya as he gains revenge on Cold Stare. And very nice fight from Chroya. He's got to feel good about getting it that time. All right. So Mike coming up into the Chomp room here. He was kind of trying to use those iframes that you get from when the pegs pop up underneath you. And it allows you to pretty much like pass through those Chomps using iframes. But he just waited it out there. That's still a much more safer and reliable way to get through that room. Those Chomps can do like up to like 3 to 4 hearts of damage or something. It's brutal, and they're really they can be very random from the second that you walk into that room. Their movement is completely random. It's Chroya explaining, wished it happened the first time. Still a very good, clean revenge fight on Cold Stare there. So Chroya's looking good on bombs. He's good to go for Meyer here. As Mike is cleaning up T-Rock pretty well here. Yeah, and Mike also picked up that 8 bomb drop there, so he definitely doesn't have to worry about the 1 bomb he's going to need for Ganon's Tower. These Pokies, if you can get a double spin attack on them, you can kill them in 1 shot, and Mike was able to group them both together and get them at the same time. That's really nice. You hit those Pokies and they start to dismember themselves, and the heads and the body parts start flying. And when that happens, they can easily bounce off the walls and come and hit you, which do a ton of damage. Oh, and Chroya was going for that quick Meyer too. The Popo got in his way of the Fire Rod shot to kill the Wizrobe. Almost had him though, still cleaned up pretty well. So Mike heads into the laser room here. Oh, very nice laser dash there. And gets his small key that he needs to proceed. Those lasers also do a lot of damage, but the only part of those lasers that do any damage is the very front part. So you can wait for it to bypass you and then kind of chase your way to the left by following the back end of that laser, where it will do no damage. If you can time your dash correctly, like Mike did there, it will be no problem. It's really good. And as he comes up to do Trinex, Chroya is lighting his torches. Going for the backdoor kill on Trinex. And very clean first phase there. He's going to go ahead and clean up Trinex. And good kill from Mike. So as Chroya is going to head down and get his Cane of Samaria, Mike is going to be on his way to Ganon's Tower to finish up the last of the dungeons. So as Mike heads into Ganon's Tower, it's easily my favorite dungeon in the game. A lot of cool speed tech you can do, different strats for every single room here. But they also definitely want to keep an eye on, when they both eventually get there, as well as Mike is getting there now, is their arrow count. They're going to need a certain amount of arrows to get through the Ice Armos fight quickly, and they definitely need mandatory arrows to get through the Mimic room in the latter half of Ganon's Tower. But there are some arrow pickups they can get along the way that don't waste too much time under some pots, and maybe even that chest in the Bob room. We'll see where Mike picks up his arrows. Skipping that first key there off the lamp, you don't have to get that one. He's going to be picking up an additional key in one of the last rooms in Ganon's Tower, which allows you to skip bonking that lamp there. So Chroya, with just the amount of health that he needs to do if he wants to do that quick kill on Vitreous here. Let's see how he handles it. Oh, and he took contact damage with one of the eyes. He was going for the deboost strat there, but he unfortunately took a hug from one of the eyes, so he has to play this a little bit slower, but just a little bit more careful now. Oh no, I thought he was gonna dodge that lightning. It looked like he was gonna be able to walk away from it. It tagged him at the last second. It's very unfortunate death there. It's definitely not as long as it gets back there. He doesn't have to go get any keys or any. He's already got his Samaria. Hit straight to the end, but still an unfortunately costly death there. Mike bonking his way, passing that area there. Sitting at 20 arrows, I think Mike's going to go ahead and grab this. Oh no, he's going to be good with 20. He can grab the 10 after the Ice Armos fights, so he's good on arrows. Ice Armos fight is somewhat similar to the Eastern Palace fight. As you can see, he took them all out in that clockwise formation, leaving that last Ice Armos with 2 arrows in it, so that when it comes back around, he only has to stick 1 more arrow in it to kill it, skipping the angry Armos phase there. Yeah, the Vitreous fight, it's tough if you're gonna use the deboost strat there, and for me personally, it's the reason why I still run the powder route, because there's an anti-fairy right before Vitreous. You get full health going in, allows you to execute that without too much worry. But without it, you just kind of have to monitor your health leading up to Vitreous to make sure that you have enough to deboost and get those iframes to get in there. It's a risky fight with a lot of reward if you can get it quickly enough. But let's see if Chroya can get revenge here on Vitreous as Mike heads down into the gauntlets. Nice dash with Cannonball Z there as well. So he was able to use a little bit of health there to get some iframes, but yeah, when you have to resort to the intended, well, not really the intended way, but kind of just slashing at those eyes, they can get really close to you, and you can get some eyeball hugs there, which do a lot of damage. So took another unfortunate death there. As Mike is heading into Lamellus 2. He's got to watch his magic here. It looks like he's going to have to just resort to with a Tempered Sword. If you go in there with full magic, you can hit each Lamellus with 2 Fire Rod shots. Take him out pretty quickly. He was able to do that with, I think, at least one of them there. Finish him off with Tempered. Mike using a good use of the Samaria there in the first Wisdom Room, and then the second one, kind of just plant that Samaria block where they're going to spawn, and then use the shots from the block to take them all out in one shot. Mike with just enough magic here to light all those torches where he doesn't have to pick up that extra magic on that bottom torch. And he's going to grab the full one there. He almost missed it there for a sec. And he's going to grab his final key in this next room here with the chest. Chroya is sitting on low health again, so he is going to have to pick this fight a little bit more careful than he probably wants to. But he can definitely get it done here. Just going to take it a little more careful. As Mike takes down Moldorn 2 with Tempered Sword. Moldorn 2 goes down pretty quickly. Takes 2 shots there with the Tempered Sword. Very nicely done as he heads to Agate 2. So yeah, Chroya was able to use 1 deboost of and get iframes there for 1 spin there, and he was able to take out a couple eyes there. So he just has to wait for them to come towards him. And the most effective way is, yeah, just slash at him. If you can get enough time to charge up your spin, that's also a good way to do it. But he's got 1 left here. He's going to switch to his bow and try to pick him off that way. I was really afraid that was going to happen. As Mike heads to Agate 2, he's got a pretty good cycle here. And cleans up Agate 2 within a couple cycles there. The lightning is probably the worst part about Vitreous there. The less eyes that there are, the more frequent those lightning shots come out, because Vitreous just starts panicking and starts shooting more lightning attacks at you. And without having enough health there to be able to do like the quick deboost strat, just have to play it a little bit more careful. So Mike's heading into Ganon. Sitting at a 125 is his PB, so he's only a few minutes behind his PB right now. Pretty solid run from Mike here. See how he cleans up with Ganon here. Chroya, though, going into the latter half of Mire now with more health. He should be, as long as he didn't take any damage here, he should be good to get the intended quick kill on Vitreous. Really quick first cycle from Ganon, going on to teleport mode here. Gonna get a nice quick and cheap shot there on Ganon. Oh, but he did go blue there. Gets torch glitch. If you light that bottom left torch before the right one goes out, it'll keep the right torch always lit, thus making it only required to relit the left one. It's a huge time save for the Ganon fight, and just on magic and time alone, so you have to dash left and right to light both torches. And there we go. Chroya with a much better... Yeah, he had a more health to spend there to be able to get that quick kill. And he's going to clean up Vitreous here. There's a much worthy revenge kill on Vitreous. And at the same time, Mike has finished up Ganon. Mike the Viewer finishes with an official Speed Racing TV time of a 1:27.23. GG to Mike. As we now shift our attention to Chroya's Rotomon as he finishes up his run. Let's see if we can get Mike in for an interview. Alright, so Chroya is looking good on bombs. He doesn't have to grab any more of those. He can get a few arrows maybe here, and before he heads into Ganon's tower after he finishes up Turtle Rock. He's going to want a few more. And so Chroya is entering Turtle Rock here, getting that very convenient full magic right into that first spot there. Coming into this torch room, wasn't able to explain it earlier. You have to light all 4 torches to proceed up to get the big key in that top room there. Oh. We're going to see Chroya use the hook shot here to fall down and skip that entire platform section, which the intended way is to take the bottom path and then exit from the top, but that way is much, much faster. I'm using the hook shot for iframes there to pass through the rolling pins. Only got hit by that last one coming down. See a lot of people also use mirror the second they get the big key to go back to the beginning of the dungeon if they're either low on health or they just don't feel like using any deboosting there. Chomp room for Chroya. Very nice. He was able to use the iframes he got from those the pegs on the switches to walk through the chomp. It's a nifty little strat there you use with Samaria. There he goes. Picked up, man, I gotta remember that those arrows are there, because that's a really easy spot to get arrows under that pot there, which he's gonna be, definitely gonna be needing later on. Oh, and he was trying to maneuver around. Like he definitely knew that if he walked in that area, he was gonna get blasted. He was trying to maneuver around it to where he could pick up that key without getting shot with the laser there. Nothing too bad. Not a huge time loss there. He doesn't have to go to the right again. He can straight up back to that room. Yeah, Turtle Rock. Very dangerous dungeon. Everything here does a lot of damage. You have the chomps to worry about, the pokies, the lasers, you name it. The kitchen sink. They throw it all at you. But it also does make this dungeon a lot more difficult, because again, the game is intended for you to have at least the blue mail and a couple other safeties. So going into this dungeon, you know, through the NMG route, these guys are going very optimal by skipping. Both of them skipped powder, which is always a really nice safety to have. He's trying to get that fairy. There he goes. All right, as Chroya heads down to the laser bridge, where he's going to need to get his final small key to head into the last area to try next. And really clean, nice little laser dash there. And he takes a fall, but it takes him back to the entrance there. No biggie. But yeah, that laser dash is super clean if you can get it pulled off. Very nice from Chroya. I, for one, I'm still, like, walking towards the edge there, trying to, like, not get blasted by the laser. And time for a try next. Going for the backdoor kill on Trinex. Oh, he shot that ice rod shot a little too soon, but he should be okay here. Oh, I think he might have been a little low on magic anyways. So taking the death there would have probably been required at that point. Chroya unfortunately shot that ice rod beam just, I want to say, like a frame too early. There's this little bit of wait time that you have to do. Oh, nice dodge there. When you freeze the left head there with the ice rod. You can either try to get 3 hits or 4 really quick tempered slashes in. If you go for the 3 hits and you go to hit him, stun him again with the ice rod, there's this little bit of time where you have to kind of like buffer yourself before you can shoot the ice rod again. If you shoot the ice rod too soon when he's still stunned, it doesn't re-stun him again. It does nothing at all. So you have to wait for him to become unstunned before you can do it again. But I've done that number of times. I'm sure plenty of runners have. It's just, frankly, if you're going for that backdoor kill, it comes down to timing on it. But he did expend a lot of magic, and what happens is the longer that fight goes on, you see just Trinex heads are flailing everywhere, and the ice rod beam goes so slow compared to the fire rod beam. And if you run out of magic, you have to take a death there, or mirror out. Either way. Taking a death refills your health, so it's a little bit better. But he's coming into Trinex for revenge kill here. Just cheer him on as he takes down the evil turtle. See if he goes for that backdoor kill again. All right. Oh no. And ran out of magic on the ice head, unfortunately. Has to take another death here. He unfortunately had that same issue on the firehead, where he shot the ice rod just a little bit too soon after that first stun. But it looked like he was going to be okay. He recovered that part nicely and was moving his way over to the right side. But all he needed, literally all he needed, was just one more fire rod shot, and he didn't even need to hit him again with a sword. He would have gone down after that. Got to give it up for Chroya here for his tenacity, going back and forth, going at it, not giving up. Chroya will never give up. I applaud his diligence here. With my saltiness, I would have probably forfeited a while ago, so I am impressed with the will to keep going. They always say you can't get better if you just keep quitting. It's always good practice for future runs. That, and you always want to get that revenge kill. All right, Craig going up for his third try at Trinex. Hopefully that third time is the charm. Going for the back there kill again. Perfect timing that time on the firehead. And he's on to the last phase. It looked like he was actually able to get 4 hits on the firehead there and cleaned up nicely on that last phase. Very nice, Chroya. Never giving up on Trinex. Very nice. So yeah, it almost does seem like if you can get those 4 slashes instead of going for the 3, it lessens your chance of shooting the ice rod a little bit too soon and not getting that second stun. But very nice fight from Chroya. I'm cleaning that one up. And he still had an extra fire rod shot to give. So very nice. All right, utilizing that spin speed, exiting to rock as he heads into Ganon's tower. So looking at he's definitely good on bombs, so that's good. But more importantly, his arrow count. Always want to take a look at your arrow count heading into GT. And he's sitting at a very comfy 23 arrows. If you choose to, you can grab some extra ones, but he should be good to go. And always in a worst case scenario, there's a guaranteed 20 arrows that you can pick up before heading to the Ice Armos fight. And then an additional 10 arrows after the Ice Armos fight in that chest next to the big key. Bloomerang strats. Gotta love Bloomerang strats here. Oh, he was going for that iframe strat there, using iframes from the pegs to bypass the spikes, and using the hookshot iframes to bypass that fire bar is always neat. And bonking over that work there. And he's going to be heading over to another bonk strat here. Bet you all wondered as a kid if you could have done that, having to, instead of light the torch and follow the invisible path there. Would have been nice to know. Just saying. Going into Ice Armos with 28 arrows, he's really good on his arrow count. Yeah, they got away from him a little bit, but he cleaned up and saved the fight very nicely. And he's going to grab those 10 arrows in that left chest there as he mirrors out. So both runners did not get any safeties at all. Got no powder, no red mail, no bottle, no net. Going for the most optimal route possible, which does come with some risk, but a lot of reward in terms of time save here. Gotta be a little careful here. Very nice. Chroya has an opportunity to get a fairy before heading into the gauntlet. He may opt to pick that up. We'll see. And stopping those spikes behind the pegs. Very nice. Realizes, hey, I'm at 1 health here. Maybe shouldn't chance dashing through. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and grab this very convenient safety fairy before heading into the gauntlet. There's also a full magic down there if you need it as well, but all he needs is the fairies heading in. He's got 5 arrows to use in the gauntlet here, so let's see. Every room in one of these gauntlets requires you to kill all of the enemies before you can proceed. And they can be a nuisance big time, because most of them have no actual pattern. You just kind of have to see which way they go the second you enter and move appropriately. These last 2 of the ice floors are the worst. But heading into land mode 2, it's got enough magic to use the fire rod here. And nice kill from Chroya on land mode 2. Getting that 1 cycle. Very nice. Also had just enough magic to do that as well. What you can do there is use a tempered spin there on the first one, which is effectively a fire rod shot, and then use another one to kill the first one, and then finish off the other 2 with the fire rod, which he did very well. Don't know if he's gonna make this or not. Yeah, that's good call on Chroya, knowing that he was not gonna make it, and he can grab another magic right there. So, worst case scenario, if you do run out of magic in this torch room, there is enough in that small magic pot there on the bottom torch, and at the very end. That gives you just enough magic to light all the torches with at least the lamp. So worst case scenario, you come into that room with no magic. It is a small failsafe, a slow one, but effective at the most. He's going to grab that full magic there as he heads down into Moldorn 2. And down goes Moldorn. and says, you know what? Let's grab this last chest here, just for the heck of it. Chroya heads into Agate 2. See how he handles it. Nice triple to start out for Chroya. Good Agate 2 kill from Chroya, the 3-1-2. Really good fight. As he chases down the bat. Maybe he's trying to get the quick kill on Ganon before he even gets there. Some new speed tech we don't know about. Chroya's holding out on us. So Chroya heads down to his Ganon fight. Very good use of hook shot there to dodge that fire bat at the last second. Very nice. Oh, he's gonna have to get over there. Oh, he missed the torch glitch. That's okay though. This can still be done without the torch glitch. Just a little bit slower. We can definitely get it done. Yeah, the key to getting this fight without the torch glitch is definitely utilizing lamp here and not the fire rod. The fire rod uses much more magic than the lamp does. Got a little too close there on the fire bat, but that fight is much harder without the torch glitch. Trying to maneuver around again and to get those spins. So the way this fight works without the butter sword or the gold sword, you have to use spin attacks on the frame that Ganon is teleporting. You basically just, you know, have to maneuver around him and time it correctly. But that is the intended way there. Chroya taking a few Ganon hugs there. Which kind of just goes to show how much damage you're taking with just the green mail on Ganon. Yo, gets the top right spawn! So if you can get Ganon to go into the top right corner there, you can see Chroya pin himself into the corner, and you can do double spin attacks with Tempered there. A little bit of luck on the RNG side there. Makes that cycle and that phase a lot faster. Ganon warping all over the place here, but he's made it to the final phase here. Chroya's going to get set up for Torch Glitch. And gets it this time. Very nice. Very nice. He's able to time this down. You can get 3 hits per light cycle if you time the torch light correctly. He is going to have to watch his magic here a little bit. May have to switch to lamp here. And just a few more hits. Oh, and that was the final one there. And Chroya finishes up his NMG run and kills Ganon. And Chroya finishes with an official Speed Racing TV time of a 1:57.53. GG, Chroya. I applaud your diligence, my friend. It takes a lot to keep going after the unfortunate deaths, and he was able to finish up very well. Gonna see if we can get Chroya in here for an interview. And while we wait on that, I'll go ahead and go for a few other things. So today, coming up on Speed Gaming, we have a couple rando matches today. As I pull up the schedule here. So for the No Major Glitches tournament, we have one going right down at Speed Gaming 4. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, no, that's right. Speed Gaming 4. We have Pika Pals and Zatox. We have another one coming up at 2 o'clock, 4-way. Coming up after that one. And then at 4, we have Christos versus Zarby on Speed Gaming 2. 6 p.m. we have Chaucer versus Skarsnik. And Speed Gaming 2 as well. And 8 p.m. we have Wolfie versus JSR. On Speed Gaming 3, we have a Final Fantasy randomizer match going on. And then from 3 to 6, also on Speed Gaming 3, we have more Link to the Past randomizer as well. Going from 6 to 9. More matches on that side. Speed Gaming 1, have the all-time decathlon. Little teaser there. And from 1 to 3, we have Dark Souls. And from 3 to 5, we have the Super Metroid Championship match on Speed Gaming 1. That should be a really good one. And then after that, we have more Link to the Past randomizer. And it looks like we can get Chroya in here for a quick interview before we sign off. Right, and we are now joined by Chroya. GG on finishing this run, my man.
Yo, GG, I guess. Oh man, yeah. It seems I just consistently play not my optimal. Well, yeah, not the best during the tourney races, which is unfortunate, but.
Yeah, it's always definitely a different feeling doing tournament matches compared to doing, you know, PB runs or just regular runs in general.
Well, I'd really have to get, like, I'd have to play insane to even win this match because his PB is 9 minutes faster than mine. Yeah. So, or probably more. I mean, he had a 127. I don't even reach that, so.
Yeah, Mike, definitely one of the top tier runners. What's funny, though, is at the start of this run, you both were pretty much neck and neck heading into Tower of Hera. You both actually messed up on the exact same bomb jump. So when he missed the first bomb jump, it actually put you both in sync, and then you did the exact same error there. Right. So yeah, it was a little interesting to see that transpire.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't stand too much or too close to the edge, so.
Yeah, he actually did the exact same thing. Yeah, so he does like the edge close to the pit and then blast over where you do the bonk thing. But yeah, it eventually does the same thing. You fall down 2 levels and it's just the absolute worst.
Yeah, and after that, I don't know, it felt kind of good, but then what happened? I think ice happened again. Yeah, I think that's where it went. I think that's where it went. Like, yeah. I was 1 minute off from my IPV at that point, so
and Ice Palace, it was you took a death from not even Cold Stare itself. It was the falling ice block. Like at the last second, you had like 1 puffball to go, and you were ready to go, and then you opted to go ahead and do Swamp, which is the good call there, because you go do Swamp, you get full magic, and then you can come back to Ice Palace and clean up there.
Yeah, like last time I died 4 times to Cold Stare.
Oh.
So I went outside and killed those blobby things for magic drops. But I thought this time I'll just get full prepared. Give myself an extra content. Yeah, I really want to do no safeties, and I'm confident in my skills to do that. But it just, I don't know.
The no safety run, yeah, it's super risky and it's optimal and all that, but yeah, like everything becomes literally the hardest thing ever. especially going into Vitreous, needing that enough health to do the, the deboost kill and etc. But yeah, that's usually where, like, when you drop safeties and you get to Vitreous, that's when it's like, oh man, now it's on. This is where
it's basically Vitreous is the only point where I feel like I definitely might still need powder. I just don't want to.
I specifically still get it just for that fight. Yeah,
I've had like enough runs where I can just do it, but then I don't know. In the second attempt, a puffball hit me from behind. I didn't even expect that to happen. So yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, anyway. Man, I still though I definitely applaud your diligence in finishing this run. It's definitely not easy after so many deaths, and definitely finishing it out is always better than taking the forfeit, without a doubt. So definitely GG to you as well.
Yeah. Oh, I almost can't take it anymore, but yeah.
and also, like, you with the Trinex fight, I do the exact same thing. Is like I always try to hit that ice rod shot a little bit too soon.
Yeah. So I was like for my skill, I always did 3, and it would have been fine. But apparently, I was quicker this time. So in the second attempt, I actually tried to delay enough, and it was still not enough. I just still collided with the effect that it wouldn't hit anymore. So
I never understood it either, because I do that all the time, and I'm like,
it's just
how am I going
timing.
too fast? Yeah.
And then, yeah, so I guess I have to practice just doing 4.
But yeah, no, like doing 4 there is actually. It makes it to where you don't have that issue, because there's no way you can shoot that ice rod, because the dang ice rod beam is just so slow. So.
Oh well. Yeah.
But yeah.
That's was all I had to share.
What match was this for you?
This was my second match. I still have 1 match to go against SM. I forgot his name.
Gotcha, very nice. So you got 1 more to do then. Very nice. Look forward to watching that. And yeah, really good run. You have anything else to leave the viewers with?
I'll hope to PB next time.
That's what we all hope for, man. We always hope and pray. But yeah, thank you again, everybody, for watching. Again, I am Diesel. Definitely give these guys a follow. They put on a great show for you guys, and we have many more NMG matches to go for today. Plenty of other races to watch, randomizer, Dark Souls, Super Metroid, you name it. Check the schedules. Lots of stuff coming your way today and tomorrow, and pretty much for forever. As long as Feasel is breathing, we will always have entertaining races to watch. And yeah, that'll do it for me. Thank you again, everybody, and we'll catch you again next time.